This is Kyle Martin Paintings. All right, new painting video alert. I'm gonna get going on something today. I'm gonna start a new painting and I'm gonna try something new. I have this photo reference that I shot last year at Devil's Lake, and I've made the reference into black and white. I always start every painting, well, most paintings, with a grayscale sketch. I create a sketch just observing the shapes of light and dark using my grayscale markers. Obviously, where the sun is in this reference is much lighter than the shadow side of the trees. And so I like to create a grayscale sketch because it guides me through the entire painting process. It also shows me the big shapes that I have to work with, and those shapes are what I design with on the canvas. It's very important for me to have a grayscale sketch. Now today I have these gray, they're called the shades of gray acrylic paints. And last night I came upstairs and I made a little color swatch of each one of these shades of gray colors. I'm going to I'm going to put my cell phone into black and white mode, and I'm going to find out what value each of these colors is, and then I'm thinking that I'm going to create my underpainting using these shades of gray acrylic paints, because once I find what each of the values is, I'll have a value that relates to something on the value palette, and that will relate back to my grayscale sketch. It probably sounds more complicated than it is. I'm just going to get started and we'll check back in. So the first thing, again, is to create a grayscale marker sketch. All right, I folded the side of the paper so that the swatch goes right to the edge. And when I look at it using my cell phone in black and white, I can see all of the different values that I have here. This top gray is, I really think that if I put it on the edge of both 10 and 20, I think that it's a 20% value. So I'm gonna write a 20% right here. I'll do that for all of the colors and then we'll take a look. Well, this is what I came up with, and it's kind of disappointing because I don't have all of the values represented with this gray paint. And I didn't really know what I was expecting when I got it, when I got this paint, but here's the results. We have a gray pale is a 20%. This is the lightest value that I have. The yellow is a 50% value. A couple of 50s. This orange is a 50, the yellow is a 50, so we go from 20 to 50. What I mean is that we go all the way from here to here. We don't have any 30 or 40% value. And then we skip up, we have a couple of 60% values, this cold and this mid-gray, which they're such a close color. And then we have 70 is this green. Then we go up to 80. We have a few 80s. We have this brown, we have this blue, and we have this warm. It's called warm, and the red. From there, violet is 90, and Payne's gray is 100. So I'm gonna, anywhere that I have 10% or 30 or 40% values, I'm gonna have to mix those, which isn't a problem, but I'll mix some 30s and 40s and I'll get this painting started. Welcome back to day 2. The snowstorm has stopped outside. If you watch this channel regularly, you know that it's the chronicles of while the baby sleeps. While the baby sleeps, I go up, I paint. So this is where I got to yesterday. I don't think that my plan really worked out. Here's why. I was using this acrylic, and like this is a 40% value right here. But as I added water to it and washed it out, obviously this is a lot lighter of value than that. So once I realized that it wasn't going to work out, I just pushed through and I got the whole underpainting done. I do have some photo reference here. This is a photo of a painting that I did on, and I think that this was the same day that I shot this reference photo. And it's not a very good photo because the sun is behind it. I don't know where this painting is. I think I might have sold it. But I also have these couple of references for color. And overall, what I'm getting from these references is that there's a beautiful glow happening during this sort of light. In this painting, the sun is right above the bluff, so it's really late in the day. So there was a nice glow that I had to react to. What that means for me is that I'm just reacting to stuff as I'm moving forward today. I'm gonna take some transparent yellow paint and do a wash over the entire canvas at this point. I didn't think about it until I just came up now, but looking at those references, I think that that'll inject a lot of glow, at least while I get started. I guess I'm just kind of off the rails on this painting, and maybe this painting is going to become one of those that, well, it's not that I think I can definitely pull this painting off. I'm just going to follow my intuition as I move forward. Moving forward this morning is going to be using some of that transparent paint. Let's get going. All right, there's this beautiful warm transparent tone over the whole canvas at this point, or I'm finishing it up. Last night when I was painting, when I was starting in the foreground rocks, I kind of felt like, well, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? This is so weird. If I pull some of this back, I can see some of this beautiful purple that's in the shadow side of the rocks. One of the benefits of using the spike lavender. But as I was painting, I was thinking, this just looks terrible. It has no direction. Of course, you can't tell what's going on until the whole painting is covered. But I just told myself, just keep going, keep moving forward, and something will happen. And now that I have this, and actually, because there was a point when I started painting these trees where, I don't know, I almost felt like I was on location painting at Devil's Lake, and that was really kind of cool. I felt really small, and I was looking out over this huge vista. And now that I have this gold transparent layer washed over the whole canvas, I got rid of all the little cool bits that were, see how there's like this little bit of cool right here? Putting the transparent wash makes everything so beautiful and warm. And this is gonna be a really fun surface to work on. So let's keep moving forward. Alright, closing up the studio for the night. The painting is starting to make more sense to me. Painting is starting to make sense to me now that I got the whole thing covered with some of the actual colors and values that I'm seeing in the photo reference. And don't forget, I've also painted on location at a spot very similar to this a few times, so I'm using that as well. I'm 6 hours into this painting at this point. I started it yesterday, that was 3 hours, and now today I've got another 3 in it. And I think I'm starting to get to the point where I've done 2 passes over the canvas, and now the serious painting will start in the next session. So we'll catch up then.